Hey y'all, I want to share with you this awesome sketchbook that I discovered through one of my students. They came to class with this sketchbook to show me because I always have my students chart out their supplies, whether it's paint, color pencils, inks, whatever. I am a firm believer in charting out all of your colors and the supplies that you have so that you know what those supplies do, and B, what the colors actually look like. So what makes this sketchbook so awesome is it is marked. The pages are already planned out with a grid. Oh, look at this. This is so amazing. I absolutely adore this sketchbook, and I'm going to show you one that I've already got started. So as you can see, it has a space for like the solid, like color in its darkest form, and then a larger space for you to either water that color down, add a different version of it. I actually saw a sample online where someone had put, the original color right out of the tube in the small space, and then they split the larger space in half and had like a tint, the color with white, and then a shade, the color with black, or dark, like the color in its darkest form. I thought that was really cool. It was actually acrylic that they had charted out. Now, so let me tell you about this sketchbook. So, and you can see here this little, it came with this little sample color cover sheet. You can see what they have done, like their idea. And I mean, well, I'll show you in a minute. Okay, you can see I'm like super excited about this thing. So it's called the Painter's Color Diary. This is the travel size because it's 6x8. This is 100% cotton watercolor paper. It is super, super nice paper. It is 10 removable sheets with glassine, what does it say, interleaving? It's a 140-pound cold press. So basically the glassine is just a piece of vellum that is in between every single page to just, protect the colors, I guess. Because let's say you decide to chart out pastels or something that's kind of chalky, the glassine or the I call it vellum, is going to protect. Now, the vellum is kind of like permanently in there, meaning if you wanted to remove it, you would have to tear it out. Now, the individual watercolor sheets, they are easy to remove, meaning you don't have to actually tear them out. You can see how easy it was for me to pull that out. They have spaces so that you don't get that, torn, goofy edge like you get with, tearing out sketchbook paper or something out of a spiral bound. So very, very thoughtful, super thoughtful design. So, and then if you want to put them in, they just pop right back in. So, I mean, you could rearrange sheets if you wanted to. I think I put it in the wrong space. I did, but that's okay. I'll put it back later. So what I want to show you is what I have done with mine. So I have some palettes here that I charted out the palette exactly how it is in the book. So let me get to this page, which is right here. So you can see it matches, which is, I just love this. I love that I can look at this palette, I can refer to this and know exactly how these colors are going to look. Solid, dark, super dark right out of the pan, and then this is the color watered down. So these colors don't have individual names in this palette. I just wrote on the side, you know, Angora opaque colors. That way I know exactly what this palette is. And so a little word on this palette, just in case you happen to see this in the store and you're like, wait, mine, oh my goodness. This one doesn't look exactly like the one Rachel showed. That is because this section had a white cake in it, and I don't use a whole lot of white. And I knew that this was kind of like what I would consider a desert Southwest type of, you know, color palette. So I popped the white cake out and I filled this space with a turquoise that I knew I would want to use with these colors. So that's why it looks a little odd. Normally this is white and I changed it out. So, and that's also just a little tip. I mean, if you ever buy a palette like this and it has a color in there that you don't like, I mean, just pop. They don't pop out easy because they're actually glued in there, but you know, it took a little effort, but I got it out and refilled it with something that I preferred. So that's just a little side note. So I also, this is a brand new palette that I received. And so I charted this one out here. So this was a Kiritaki palette, Gonzai Tombi, some Gonzai Tombi. This is also Kiritaki Gonzai Tombi. So let me just show you what I did. So I just charted them out next to each other, mainly because I didn't want to waste this space here. So you can see this palette is exact 4 across, 4 across, you know, 6 down. So that's this palette, and then I charted this palette here. So what I'm going to do, I just haven't done it yet, is kind of make a distinction. I'll probably just draw a dark line between these two just for my brain so that when I look at this page and refer to it, my brain goes, oh yeah, that's 2 different palettes, you know, that I had charted out. So a student of mine graciously gifted me this sample set of Daniel Smith paints. They know that I love Daniel Smith, and they had actually gone to a Daniel Smith workshop, and they were giving these out to the workshop participants, and they just happened to grab 2 and gifted me with one, which was so awesome. They asked, you know, hey, could I bring my art teacher one of these? And they gave him one to give to me. So I have just been tickled pink over this. It is 266 of the Daniel Smith colors, and they gave it to me right when I had purchased one of these for the first time. So I have had a blast charting out all of these colors. I got super, super nerdy with it, which I do want to show you. So I started in order of, let me get this one out of the way because we're done with that. I just started in order of the sheets. Like, they have this marked as page 1. So I just went ahead and started page 1, painted them all out, wrote out the color underneath. And what I did was I marked with a little dot above all the colors that I really liked, that I knew that I would use, or colors that I obviously already own. So this has just been a joy to do. I really appreciate that Daniel Smith made this. There's actually quite a few companies. The company Core, Q-O-R, they make sample sheets as well, which is really great because if you can get a hold of one, Some of the art supplies stores sell the sample sets. Like you can actually buy this Daniel Smith sample set. You can buy little sets. I actually have tiny Daniel Smith cards that have 4 to a sheet, and they come in little cards, like a set of 10 cards. I don't know where those are right now. They're probably in my travel bag, but because y'all, they give you like a really good, you know, sampling that, I mean, you could actually, you know, paint something decent off of it. So, and ask your art supply store, or if you shop online with some of the stores, you could always ask, do y'all have samples that I could, you know, purchase, or do you give them away for free? And, so that you can test and discover the colors that you like. One time I bought a tube of paint, and 2 times actually, I bought 2 tubes and ended up not liking them. I know, shock of all shocks. I mean, how could I not like a tube of paint? But you know, it just, they were too transparent and pale for my taste. I do still use them, but they're not my favorites. They're not my go-to. But having a sampling, you know, like this Potter's Pink, I didn't think I would actually like that, but once I painted it out, the texture is so beautiful that I actually like it. But I do not like this Cobalt Violet, so didn't mark it because it's not a favorite. On this, so back to kind of how I use this little book. I charted them all out and then just did dots of all my favorites. So this side is just a sampling of my favorites. Then as I'm painting through, oh, and this was me just having fun with some of my favorites, just painting on that back side of the watercolor paper. Here's what's neat about this list, and this is where I got like super duper nerdy, is a lot of watercolors, you know, obviously there's cadmiums, there's quite a few cadmiums. Daniel Smith, they've got a few Mayans. They've got, you know, well, lots of companies have pyrrole, permanent, colors that begin or share some of the same name or words. So I got a little nerdy and I highlighted, like in, you know, pink, hot pink, all the colors that were permanent. I highlighted every color that was pyrrole, you know, in the neon orange and so forth. I mean, you know, in yellow, so forth and so on. Then what I did was I charted those colors out. That was so fun, y'all, just to see all the permanents together, the pyrroles together, the perylines together. These are all the Mayans, cadmium. I did it with the blues, which was, this is probably my favorite page because it's blue. So all of the cobalts, interesting about the cobalt was they're all pretty transparent, like just they're naturally transparent. The quinacridones, these are gorgeous. Look at this quinacridone purple. That is definitely a favorite of mine. These were all called like lunar black, lunar violet, red. They are very, putting them together, they feel very spacey. These are the ultramarines, phthalos. Phthalos are my fave. You can see how strong and bold these are. And these were like the kind of Payne's and Jane Gray. Those were neat to see together as well. I think that's as far as I got. I don't think I charted. Oh, these were the darks, all the kind of earth tones from this page that I liked, which surprised me, y'all. Like, look at all these. I am not like, I don't gravitate to earth tones or painting with earth tones. I'm very much like Crayola box, you know, super bright. But charting these out, charting out colors that I wouldn't normally work with, made me realize how much I actually like colors that are not my normal go-tos. So it opened up a new world of colors for me. Like these earthy greens here are just beautiful. Normally I would gravitate to like these greens and these, you know, but look at these greens, how gorgeous. So this was just something super fun that I discovered thanks to a student who discovered this by, you know, just shopping around online. Let me get the one that has the cover. So I found mine on Amazon, but I think they actually came from Cheap Joe's Art Stuff, was actually the seller. So I will put a link to it in the description of this video so that y'all can easily find it. But just know it's called the Painter's Color Diary. This is the travel size. They do come larger size, like I think they have a 9x12. And if you are a nerd like me, you will so enjoy charting out your colors and your palettes. Even so, I think that probably what this is, you know, this right here, they've got backpack palettes. So, you know, is this all the ones? Maybe this is your palette. You could chart out a palette that you want to take with you on a trip, or this is a great way to just chart out on one sheet all the colors that you want to use in a particular project, on a particular painting. It doesn't have to be like actual charting of, you know, like this is an actual palette that I have that I'm going to chart it out. You can use this for so much more, for planning, for testing, whatever. So I just really wanted to share this with y'all because I have kind of, you know, I'm like head over heels over this thing because it totally appeals to my my inner OCD mathematical, like chart things out, everything's in order, that side of me. So so y'all, I hope you get one. I hope you fill it up and it goes to good use for you. So check it out, enjoy, and happy painting.